चरकसी पगिया बांकी कलंगी लटकेल रे हो, बांकी कलंगी लटकेल रे। शोभे शोभे रसिकवर छेल रे, हरि धर्मा कुंवर सुखकारी। गजरा शेखर हार बाजो बंध, गजरा शेखर हार बाजो बंध, गुच्छ गुलाबी धरेल रे हो, गुच्छ गुलाबी धरेल रे प्यार। शोभे शोभे रसिकवर छेल रे, हरि धर्मा कुंवर सुखकारी। शोभे शोभे रसिकवर छेल रे, हरि धर्मा कुंवर सुखकारी। केसर तिलक मनोहर कीनो, केसर तिलक मनोहर कीनो, कुंडल नांग जड़ेल रे हो, कुंडल नांग जड़ेल रे। शोभे शोभे रसिकवर छेल रे, हरि धर्मा कुंवर सुखकारी। प्रेमानंद कहे नाथ निरंतर, प्रेमानंद कहे नाथ निरंतर। उर्मावसो अलबेल रे हो, उर्मावसो अलबेल रे। शोभे शोभे रसिकवर छेल रे, हरि धर्मा कुंवर सुखकारी। शोभे शोभे रसिकवर छेल रे हरि धर्म कुंवर सुखकारी हरि धर्म कुंवर सुखकारी. Now we will sing dhun, so please join. Swami Narayan, Swami Narayan, Swami Narayan, Swami Narayan. Swami Narayan, Swami Narayan, Swami Narayan, Swami Narayan. 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 Swami Narayan, Swami Narayan, Swami Narayan, Swami Narayan. Swami Narayan, Swami Narayan, Swami Narayan, Swami Narayan. 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 Swami Narayan, Swami Narayan, Swami Narayan, Swami Narayan. Swami Narayan, Swami Narayan, Swami Narayan, Swami Narayan. 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 सजानंद स्वामी महाराज की जय.
ओम अवतारिणे श्री स्वामिनारायणाय नमो नमः. श्री हरिकृष्णाय नमो नमः. Shri Purna Purushottamaya Namo Namaha. Garda first chapter Vachanamrut number 8. Swaminarayan Hare, Swaminarayan Hare. In the Samvat year 1876, on the 11th day of the bright half of the month of the Makshish, Shriji Maharaj was seated in the darbar of Dada Khachar in Gatida. He had put on all white garments. Saints and devotees from various places had gathered before him in an assembly. Then Shriji Maharaj said, if the activities of the organs of the senses are directed towards the service of Lord Shri Krishna and his devotees, one's heart becomes pure, and the sins attached to him from times immortal are redeemed. But if these activities are directed towards fulfillment of the desires for women and other such objects, his heart becomes polluted and he falls from the path of his ultimate good. Therefore, one should enjoy the objects of senses in the manner prescribed by the Holy Scriptures. You should never transgress the limits prescribed by the Scriptures. You should always be in the company of saints and avoid the company of wicked. Only when a person leaves the company of the wicked and seeks the company of saints, his attachment of the body and its relatives will disappear, and he will develop intense love for God and become unattached to everything except God. Iti Vachanamrut Garda, first chapter, number 8. Sahajananda Swami Maharajani Jai.
वरनिवेशरमणीयदर्शनम् मन्दहास रुचिराननाम्बुजम् पूजितं सुरनरोत्तमेर्मुदा धर्मनन्दनमहं विचिन्तये। ॐ अवतारिणे श्री स्वामिनारायणाय नमो नमः। श्री हरे कृष्णाय नमो नमः। श्री पूर्णपुरुषोत्तमाय नमो नमः। सर्वावतारी इष्टदेव भगवान श्री स्वामीनारायण, पूज्यपाद शास्त्री जी महाराज, पूज्यपाद गुरु महाराज, पूज्यपाद सद्गुरु श्री देवप्रसाद दास जी स्वामी जी, all other pious and Brahmanist saints and dear Gurukul family members. Jai Swaminarayan. Just to begin our today's satsang, we listen Vachanamrut number 8, Garuda first chapter. But today we are going to have satsang, or today's satsang is dedicated the saga, the silver saga of Shree Swaminarayan Gurukul Hyderabad. It's nothing but history of Shree Swaminarayan Gurukul Hyderabad. But it's not just a history of establishment, it's a saga of establishment. And why it is historic establishment, why it is saga, so that as we are going to celebrate on 2nd October, Silver Jubilee celebration. Shree Swaminarayan Gurukul Hyderabad is completing 25 years, or we can say glorious 25 years of its establishment. So today what we see, either Hyderabad campus, Bangalore campus, and all other branches, South Indian branches. So we see big establishment, thousands of students are studying, and across the South India and especially in Telangana or Hyderabad, the brand name or fame and image of Gurukul, it's really outstanding. But when it was established or 25 years back, nothing was there. From zero to till today's journey, we can say the silver saga. So how does or how did it has established, and how it came into existence, or how was the journey of last 25 years? So I think on this silver jubilee celebration, every one of us must know as well as must learn and remember the foundation or the history of Shree Swaminarayan Gurukul Hyderabad. So let's we begin. This was the establishment of Shree Swaminarayan Gurukul Hyderabad was a historic establishment. Now first, why it was historic? As other schools gets established, similarly Gurukul was established. Then why we say it was a historic establishment? Because Bhagavan Shree Swaminarayan incarnated on this earth in the year of 1801 in month of April. At the age of 11 years, Bhagavan Shree Swaminarayan left his home for the salvation of millions of souls. At the age of 1801, in the year of 1801, Bhagavan Shree Swaminarayan was added on as a head of the Uddhav Sampradaya, and Bhagavan Shree Swaminarayan announced his own name as a Swaminarayan Mahamantra. So we can say that Swaminarayan Sampradaya established in year of 1801. Then Bhagavan Shree Swaminarayan, as it was established in Gujarat, so at that time more than 2000 saints were there with Bhagavan Shree Swaminarayan. Many of them were from different states, northern states also. And many parts of India, Bhagavan Shree Swaminarayan and all our Nand saints were traveling for Satsang, and they have spreaded the Swaminarayan sect, Swaminarayan Sampradaya. In 1830, just at 49 years age, Bhagavan Shree Swaminarayan left this mundane world and went back to his divine abode Akshardham. So Bhagavan Shree Swaminarayan stayed on this earth just 49 years. In 49 years, more than 2000 saints, lakhs of devotees, and many parts of India, Swaminarayan Sampradaya was present. Later, after the departure of Bhagavan Shree Swaminarayan, knowingly or unknowingly, satsang traveling was reduced and minimized, and mostly the Swaminarayan Sampradaya was just limited to the Gujarat itself. Shastriji Maharaj, Sri Dharmajivan Dasji Swamiji established Sri Swaminarayan Gurukul Rajkot Sansthan in 1948. At that time, even 3 branches of Gurukul Rajkot was there. In 1995, Sri Swaminarayan Gurukul Hyderabad was the first of its kind of establishment of Sri Swaminarayan Gurukul outside Gujarat. Except Gujarat, no other state Sri Swaminarayan Gurukul was present, and even Swaminarayan sect also was very slightly present. So, as Gurukul Rajkot establishment, we say that it was the first establishment of Gurukul in India or independent India. Similarly, within the Swaminarayan sect, Gurukul Hyderabad establishment was the first of its kind outside Gujarat, and that's why it was a historic event, historic establishment. Now, my dear Gurukul family members, the story behind establishment, okay, as it was first of its kinds, so we say it was a historic establishment. But why it was established, or what was the history, what is the story behind establishment? And as every establishment will have some or else stories, but the story behind establishment or saga behind establishment of Gurukul Hyderabad was unique and different from rest all other establishments, and that's why we can say the silver saga, the establishment of Shree Swaminarayan Gurukul Hyderabad. Now, if we start in 1974, two students from Morbi town near Rajkot, Morbi town, and close to Morbi there is a village called Sarvad village. So from that Sarvad village, or we can say Morbi town, two students, Shantilal Patel and Shivlal Patel, they have taken admission in Shree Swaminarayan Gurukul, Junagadh. As first branch was established in Rajkot, and second branch of Gurukul Rajkot was established in Junagadh city near Somnath Dwarka. So these two students, Shantilal Patel and Shivlal Patel, have taken admission in Gurukul Junagadh. They have finished their studies, but elder one, Shantilal Patel, at that time Pujya Mugat Swami and other saints were there in Junagadh Gurukul. So he was inspired with saints' life and he developed his detachment to this world, and he decided to become a Swamiji, and with the permission of his parents he was dedicated lifetime following Brahmacharya to Shastriji Maharaj and Shree Swaminarayan Gurukul in service of Bhagavan Shree Swaminarayan and to the society. And he became Saint Pujya Shukvallabhdasji Swami. Now also Swamiji is staying in Rajkot Gurukul, and Swamiji is serving since then onwards more than 45 to 50 years. Swamiji is serving Shree Swaminarayan Gurukul and Shastriji Maharaj and today Pujyapad Guru Maharaj. So these two students have studied in 1974. Later their parents, Premji Bhai Patel, we can say Premji Bapa, and his brother Jadavji Bapa got settled in Hyderabad. So in 1984, first time Pujyapad Shastriji Maharaj Sri Dharmajivandasji Swamiji visited Hyderabad city with the request of these Swamiji's Purvashram parents, means Premji Bapa and Jadavji Bapa and other his sons. So 1984, Pujyapad Shastriji Maharaj Sri Dharmajivandasji Swamiji visited Hyderabad town, Hyderabad city, and Swamiji stayed 3 days in Hyderabad. Later, many years passed. In 1994, Shree Swaminarayan Gurukul Junagadh, Pujya Devaprasad Swamiji, Mahant Swamiji, and few saints. So Swamiji was teaching Sanskrit to the junior saints. Pujya Devaprasad Swamiji had very much interest, or we can say fond, to learn Sanskrit scriptures and to understand Vedas, Upanishads, Bhagavad Gita, Ramayana, as well as Vachanamritam and other scriptures. So when Shastriji Maharaj was delivering discourses in Rajkot, and when Pujya Dev Prasad Swamiji was listening, so he was listening like one of very ideal Shishya and very keen to know or very eager to know, and with curiosity Swamiji was listening the discourse of Shastriji Maharaj. So Swamiji had very much interest from beginning of his life to learn Sanskrit deeply, and Swamiji had learned himself, and Swamiji was teaching few junior saints in Junagadh, Gurukul. But after basic studies of Sanskrit, Pujya Devaprasad Swamiji thought that if we can provide these saints the higher and deeper studies of Sanskrit, so that will be always useful and favorable for their personal life as well as Gurukul organization and even Swaminarayan sect also. So to give deep studies or to provide deep studies to the saints, Swamiji thought and Swamiji started searching Sanskrit scholars and Pandits. So generally in Gujarat, Swamiji could not find, and finally Swamiji come to know that in South India we find easily Sanskrit scholars and Pandits. Then Pujya Devaprasad Swamiji and Pujya Shukvallabhdasji Swamiji, they visited Hyderabad in search of good scholars and Pandits. And as it was a bit easy and availability in Hyderabad, so already got contacted and this Pujya Sant Vallabhdasji Swamiji's Purvashram parents also were here, their brothers also were here, so they also helped to the Swamijis to find Pandits, and finally Swamiji contacted few Pandits, and it was decided that now we have to come to Hyderabad along with junior saints for deeper studies of Sanskrit. And my dear Gurukul family members, on 17th July 1994, 17th July 1994, from Junagadh, even I was also one of them. So along with Swamiji, we started on 17th July 1994 from Junagadh to Mumbai. We have come. At that time, even Vashi Gurukul was not, just we had a center, and we stayed overnight there. So 17th July was a day of Sri Hari Jayanti, means that was a day of birthday of Bhagavan Sri Swaminarayan. Not exactly Ram Navami, but every month we can say 9th of bright half of the month. So it was a Sri Hari Jayanti. On that day we started for Hyderabad, and from Mumbai saints and Pujya Swamiji have started on 19th July 1994. So that was a day of auspicious day of Ekadashi, and that was a day of Nimi Ekadashi. Means on that day, means Chaturmas begins, and we all take extra niyamas on the Nimi Ekadashi. So 19th July 1994, 10 saints, actually like 9 saints and 2 bhagats in white dress, parsads. We started I think Hussain Sagar Express 12:30, and next day 20th July 10:30 we reached to the, I think, Nampally station, and then these all Patel brothers, they have also decided that Swamiji will provide accommodation and even all food expense of Swamiji's, and whatever expense occurs we will provide, but it's always better that saints come Hyderabad and studies. So we all Swamiji reach to the station, then they all these Patel brothers, they have received us, and we reached to the residence. So in Hyderabad town there is a Koti area, right? Koti, yeah, near Abbots. Near Andhra Bank, there is a Mithila complex. So in the Mithila complex, in the 5th floor, all these Patel brothers, their offices were there, NS Patel and CH Patel agencies. And there they have provided one room for the Swamijis and all other arrangement they have made. So that we have reached there, and after reaching there 11:30, all saints had bath, then they performed puja. In the terrace, open bathing facility was there, right? Yeah, open taps were there and saints were bathing on terrace. Then after puja, even saints have prepared prasad offered to the Thakurji, and I think 1:30 or 2 o'clock saints have taken their prasad lunch. Previous day it was a Nimi Ekadasi, all saints were on fast, and next day on Dwadashi day around 1:30 to 2 o'clock saints have taken prasad, and the very next day onwards the journey of Hyderabad, or we can say the initiation of Hyderabad Gurukul establishment, or the saga of Gurukul Hyderabad was just begun. My dear Gurukul family members, now the important part of this establishment begins. Okay, that saints have come here and they started studies. If I say in short, all these 11 names also I want to mention here. So Pujya Mahant Swami Sadguru Sri Devprasad Swamiji was the head, and Swamiji had taken all of us for Sanskrit studies. Along with Swamiji, 8 saints and 2 Bhagatji were there. So in 8 saints, Pujya Bhagwan Dasji Swami, Pujya Mukund Swarupdasji Swamiji. Bhagwan Dasji Swamiji is now in Narmada Poicha, Nilkant Dham. Pujya Mukund Swarupdasji Swamiji, many of our Shankarao sir and Chenaradi sir, they know to Swamiji. So Swamiji is now in USA, more than 15 years Swamiji is serving there, USA Gurukul. Then Haripriya Swamiji, Swamiji is also in Rajkot, he is also serving Rajkot Gurukul. Then Pujya Nitya Swarup Swamiji, Pujya Yogeshwar Dasji Swamiji, Pujya Anand Priya Dasji Swamiji, Pujya Krishna Charan Dasji Swamiji, and myself. So myself and Pujya Krishna Charan Swamiji, we were in white dress as a Bhagatji. So 8 saints, 2 Bhagatji and 1 Pujya Swamiji, altogether 11 saints have reached and started the studying Sanskrit. If I say the daily schedule of those days and Swamiji's studies, so it is a very interesting schedule. First of all, in one room, we can say it was approx 20 feet by 25 feet. In one room, we all 11 Swamijis were staying. Even kitchen also within that room, and studying. Guruji comes and takes class, also studying Sanskrit also in the same, sleeping also there. Within that one room, I think, is it equivalent to your 1 BHK, right? Yeah. So 20 by 25 feet, it almost like 1 BHK, and we 11 Swamijis were staying, and along with Swamiji. We started Sanskrit like puja, Path, Prasad, and even sleeping, everything was within that one room. We started studying Sanskrit Vyakaranam, Tarka Shastram, Sahitya means literature or Kavya Shastra, then Vedant. Along with this, even our traditional teaching, or we can say Sampradayic learning also was going on. Vyakaran means Siddhant Kaumadi was taught by one of the very prominent scholar of Sanskrit and Sanskrit grammar, our Guruji, Pujya Sri Samudral Srinivasacharyaji. He was teaching us Siddhant Kaumadi every day morning, I think 8 o'clock, the sharp 8 o'clock he comes he was coming to the place where we were staying and he was taking class. The complete Sanskrit Siddhant Kaumudi was learned by heart him. Without book he was teaching. Without help of book, even original text also he need not to see. He was teaching, and all we Swamiji were sitting in half circle, and Guruji was teaching. Then Tarka Shastra means Nyaya Shastra was taught by Avdhani Subramaniam ji as well as Koteshwar Sharma, Shankar Mutt. I think area is Nalkund, yeah, after Tarnak it seems. So there is a Shankar Mutt, and Guruji Koteshwar Sharma ji was staying there, and we were going there for taking class. Sahitya means Tarka Shastra was taught, Sahitya means literature, Kavya Shastra was taught by Pujya Swami himself. Even Sanskrit Sambhashanam means spoken Sanskrit, right, also was taught. And Vedant was taught by Rangacharya ji, very aged, and we were going to the Narsimha temple, that Sultan Bajar. There we were going for studying, taking class, and one Ramanujacharya ji was coming to the place for taking the class. Every day for one class, means taking one class means, yeah, for one, you can say class, yeah, one class, we saints were going from this Koti to Shankar Mutt. It was around 3.5 kilometer. So we are going by walk, and again we are coming back by walk. So every day we were walking and traveling 7 kilometers. Where we are going, so generally we saints as a brahmachari, we take care that no woman gets touch or their clothes gets touched. So in one single line we walk, and even whoever, either other public, they see to us. So even while going, all Swamijis were learning whatever their class or spiritual, they were learning and learning by heart, and they were going. By seeing all these Swamijis first time in Hyderabad, so, and the dress code of Bhagavan Shree Swaminarayan's Sant Parampara, and very decent and simple dress code, and everybody was, I think, seeing very happy to see such Swamijis, and they were not even knowing the name of Bhagavan Sri Swaminarayan. They were just calling us or addressing us like Narayan Swami, Narayan Swami's Swamiji, right? Like other ISKCON Swamijis or such. Likewise, they are not knowing the name of Bhagavan Sri Swaminarayan. They were just saying that these are the Narayan Swami's saints. So that was the day 25 years back. To make our, after these studies, classes every day, 5 Sanskrit classes, then 3 means 6 lines of Gujarati, our traditional learning, kirtans, also we have to learn. So every day 5 class we are learnings. Morning 4:30 to night 11 o'clock. It was a very strict and tight schedule of learning. Now to ensure that learning efficiency, even Pujya Swamiji was taking every week the grand test, right? Yeah, so we had every week, weekly on Sunday, we had a grand test, and monthly once we had also a Vachanamrut test. So every month 25 Vachanamrut, then 26 to 50 Vachanamrut, likewise 25 Vachanamrut test, like throughout the whole Vachanamrut and Swamini Vato and other scriptures, all saints have wrought. Now, to make our learning more, not just learning, actually the Swamiji's intention was to take all these saints to the Hyderabad, not just for even Sanskrit studies. Swamiji had an intention that how can, Pujya Deva Prasad Swamiji's intention was that how can I guide them or train them as Shastriji Maharaj was expecting his saints with all saintly virtues and saintly qualities, or ideal saint of Bhagavan Sri Swaminarayan. So that was the intention. So Swamiji had taught us along with Sanskrit the ideal life of saintly life, or how should be a Swaminarayan Sant his life. So to remain always fresh and healthy, even all saints were following like taking food only once in a day, and once in a day also like saints were taking mostly rice and rasam and curry, right? Rice, rasam and curry. My dear Gurukul family members, Swamiji also taught us the lessons of life, we can say, the how one can lead his personal life, and again especially saintly life, with minimum requirement or with least requirement. As I said, as we reached to the Hyderabad, we were accommodated in one room, and in whole room there was a one yellow bulb, right? That was of I think 100 watts. So we were staying on fifth floor, and it was directly terrace. So the first night, because of mosquitoes, windows were open. So because of mosquito, most of Swamijis could not sleep well. So next day, one of the persons said that better Swamiji, in the evening you close door and all windows. So all windows were of glass, and door we closed by 6 o'clock, and we 11 members, 100 watts bulb in one room. So by 11 o'clock night, it was complete room was very hot. And dear Gurukul family members, in the beginning, I think 1 or 2 months, even there was no fan in the room. But even though all these Patel brothers were ready, whatever we say, they were ready to give and provide, and they were happy to provide. But Pujya Devaprasad Swamiji had want to teach and has intention that no, saint's life should be very simple with minimum requirement, and he should not be behind of XYZ comfortable life or thing. And we did not even ask them that okay, there is a no fan, so please, if we say, they would provide 2 fans, but we did not ask them. And I think after 2 months, when once somebody had come, one of the Miss Chandubhai, the son of Arjibhai Patel, then he said, why Swamiji, this is too hot. Then he had seen, okay, there is no fan in this room, and finally fan was arranged. What I want to say is, my dear Gurukul family members, that this was the teaching and this was the intention of Pujyapad Sadguru Sri Devaprasad Swamiji, and because of this, Shree Swaminarayan Gurukul Hyderabad is established. Days passed, my dear family members, then few Marwadi friends of these Patel brothers, and even from Telugu community, the friends of these Patel brothers, occasionally they also were coming to the Swamiji's darshan, and they were also listening the satsang of Swamiji's. And within 6 to 8 months, every one of them thought that after 3 years, these Swamijis are going to go back to the Gujarat. So what can be done, make them to stay here long life and permanently. Then somebody said, if we establish Gurukul in Hyderabad, then this Swamiji will stay permanently in Hyderabad. Otherwise they would go back. And finally, this is the way the idea, or you can say the sankalp of Gurukul Hyderabad establishment was initiated. On 9th April 1995, in 9th April 1995, so almost after 9 months, we saints were shifted from Koti area to here Narsingi. There is a Sri Krishna Gaushala, very big Gaushala. Yeah, it is very close by Gurukul, so many of you might know that area. And now it is a very posh area and like think financial district, right? So there is a very big Gaushala and very big land. I think thousands of cows are there. So and there is also that is a trust, and Balmukund Seth was one of them, the trustee, and he also said that Swamiji, all of you come here, stay in our Gaushala, and you study there. And we on 9th April 1995, it was the day of Ram Navami. It was also a day of birthday of Bhagavan Sri Swaminarayan, and we all saints shifted from Koti to Sri Krishna Gaushala, and we started studying from there. Then they also thought to give land when the idea of Gurukul Hyderabad establishment was initiated. So they also in the beginning stage thought of giving land within that Gaushala, and first Gurukul was about to establish there, and finally it could not materialize. And meanwhile, Sri Kailash Narayan Ji Bhangadia is one of the very devotee and gentleman. So he had this land where this Gurukul Hyderabad is established. So 12 acres land, and opposite to Gurukul land there was a Gaushala and 1 more acre land, so 150 cows. And he said that yes, I will donate my land if Swamiji want to establish Gurukul. And finally on 2nd March 1995, Junagadh Gurukul was celebrating Sarvamangal Mahotsav in Junagadh. So on 2nd March 1995, the announcement of Hyderabad Gurukul establishment was taken place and announced on 2nd March 1995. On 10th August 1995, first time we Swamiji have come on this land where Gurukul is existing. It was a day of Raksha Bandhan, and first time Thakurji and all saints have entered to this land, Bhumi Pravesh, and we had performed Mahapuja, and first time all saints have entered to this new land, 10th August 1995. And 29th August 1995, on Ganesh Chaturthi, the Bhumi Puja, we can say groundbreaking ceremony was taken place. So on this land, my dear Gurukul family members, after Gurukul establishment, even Satsangi Jivan Parayan, then Gurukul started in 1997. The first academic year was began 1997. I think 2nd June 1997 was the first academic year. And since that, many of our teachers are serving Sri Swaminarayan Gurukul since 23 years, 24 years and 25 years. Congratulations to all of them also serving such a great, I think almost your lifetime and your career. Many of them, they have joined as a fresh teacher and now they are about to retire, right? So on this, it was started with 130 students in first year, and only hostel it was started, 130 students. And today in this campus itself 3,200 students are studying, and later other branches Bangalore, Gulbarga, Bidar, Raipur, Solapur, Jadchalla, Vijayawada, Nagpur, Navi Mumbai, Ahmedabad, Vidyanagar, now Secunderabad, Suryapet, Mysore are established, and many are in pipelines. So altogether 13,000 students are studying. It was started with 130 students, and today it is 13,000 students after 25 years, the silver saga of Gurukul Hyderabad. On this land, my dear Gurukul family members, why it is a different establishment than other school, college or any other institute? Because this is not established just for teaching either 6 or 9 subjects. This is established for igniting lives, for founding the life or giving the purpose of human life, or to develop or to generate ideal citizen of our nation. On this land, along with studies, thousands of students have studied, and many of our alumni are also here. Yes, Rajesh Ravaria and our Aviram, Manish, and many more. On this land, this Gurukul, Pujya Devaprasad Swamiji, also with help of students, Satsang is even Parayan, 108 time. If we read one scripture, that is called Puruscharan. So, Satsang Jivan is a very big scripture of Bhagavan Swaminarayan, like a Srimad Bhagavat. 17,000 plus slokas are there, and that to be read 108 times. So, we have every time we selected 60 to 70 students, those who can read Sanskrit well, and 2 months during the evening prayer time they read in Puruscharan Hall in Saint Ashram. Likewise, in Gurukul Hyderabad, 5 times we have performed Satsangi Jivan Parayan. Actually, when Bhagavan Shree Swaminarayan was on this earth, many times it was performed. Later, Shastriji Maharaj had performed one grand celebration in Junagadh temple. That time it was performed, and later, I think in Swaminarayan sect, I think Hyderabad Gurukul will be one of the great place where 5 times Purascharan of Satsang Jivan Granth had taken place. Then many other scriptures, even Sarvamangal Stotra, Bhakta Chintamani, Vachanamrut, Shri Hari Kavach, likewise many other scriptures, reading and pujan, Ekadasi fasting, dhun, other devotions have taken place. And that's why today this place has become not just a school, hostel, or even Gurukul. This has become like a Tirtha Bhumi. And if anybody enters in campus, he feels different and divine vibrations because of last 25 years. And many great saints, Pujyapad Jogi Swamiji, Pujyapad Hariprasad Swamiji, Pujyapad Kothari Swami, all other senior saints, Pujyapad Guru Maharaj, many other saints like even Chinnajiyar Swami and other saints, Krishna Sankar Shastriji and many other, Govindev Giriji. Such great saints have also visited this place and blessed this place. And many Bala Brahmachari, thousands of students have lead their very spiritual and saintly life. So, at end of the today's satsang, my dear Gurukul family members, now this has become a destination for transforming life. Now, this is not a story of just a history. This is not a story of just a history, but it is a saga of Bhagavan Sri Swaminarayan's Sant Parampara. This is a saga of Sant Parampara of Swaminarayan Bhagavan. How great Saint Parampara he had began, and such saints, though we have come from Gujarat like 1500 kilometers away, the first time new language, no devotees, no any other non-people, and outside Gujarat, such a far place, establishment of Gurukul was really a history and historic. But why it is called saga? Because this is a glory, this is a saga of Bhagavan Sri Swaminarayan's Sant Parampara. The way he have made the rites and rituals or commandments of saints, 5 Panch Vartman of saints, and following that, these saints have started this Gurukul. This is also a saga of Shastriji Maharaj, matchless saintly life and teachings. Pujya Devaprasad Swamiji's, because of Swamiji's saintly life, if we say this Gurukul is established, but even Swamiji was inspired with the life of Shastriji Maharaj. So we can say the establishment of Gurukul Hyderabad is a saga of Shastriji Maharaj, matchless saintly life and teachings. And this is also a saga of blessings of Pujyapad Guru Maharaj, Sri Devkrishna-dasji Swamiji. And this is a saga of true Shishya who added value and brand name to his Guru and his beloved God. So, my dear Gurukul family members, on the occasion of Silver Jubilee celebration of Gurukul Hyderabad, uh, really the establishment story behind establishment is really very inspiring story, and in coming years also it may inspire thousands of people and thousands of upcoming generations, because the first time 25 years weekly once there was a train from Gujarat, and when saints were yearly once or twice saints were going, so it was taking 24 hours, and once saints were boarding the train, we don't take even water or any food. So 24 hours without food, without water, saints were traveling. Even Pujya Swamiji also was traveling by train. So this is a saga of one ideal Shishya, one saintly Sant, and today's this Satsang we dedicate to Pujapad Sadguru Sri Dev Dasji Swamiji's inspiring life, as well as the Shastriji Maharaj and Pujapad Guru Maharaj and Bhagavan Sri Swaminarayan. Bolo Swaminarayan Bhagavan ki jai. Yeah, I think so there is no scope of questions, but still, if anybody wants to ask something, we can have 5 minutes. You can raise hand if you want to ask anything. Okay. There is a sir. Jai Swaminarayan.
Swamiji, time is not there, I know. In any other satsang, if you can share, it is a question for me that as you were mentioning, language barrier was there, cultural barrier was there. How did you overcome that problem area here? With some incidents, if you can share later.
Okay.
Because,
Yeah, thank you. Yes, sir. Yeah, generally, sir. Jai Swaminarayan.
One question that Elder Swamiji has been head of our South India. So after 25 years, now Swamiji is the head of complete Rajkot Gurukul head also. So with completing of this 25 years, our Swamiji is promoted to next level.
Yeah, it's the blessings of Shastriji Maharaj, Pujapad Guru Maharaj, and Bhagavan Sri Swaminarayan. Here, nothing like kind of promotion or something, but it's a bigger opportunity of serving largely and pleasing Shastriji Maharaj and Bhagavan Sri Swaminarayan. Yes, Srinivas sir.
Jai Swaminarayan Swami.
Jai Swaminarayan.
On a lighter note, those days, Abich was famous for the Pullaredi sweets.
Yes.
And Koti was famous for the chaat bundle, Gokul chaat bundle.
Exactly.
Did you Swamiji tasted anything by chance?
Sir, we Swamiji are Swayam Paki. We don't take anything of outside. We cook ourselves when we take. But as you said, it was very well known. G. Pullaredi sweets, and I'm very glad to share that even G. Pullaredi sir is also a member of Gurukul Hyderabad. Anyhow, now he is no more with us, but his son Raghav Reddy sir is also now connected to Gurukul, and there is a very big contribution by G. Pullaredi sir in the construction of school building. One complete floor construction he was sponsored by G. Pullaredi sir, and many other Marwadi donors as well as even from our Venkateshwarlu sir, Kakatiya Cement, and many other devotees. So this all together like Gujarati community, Telugu community and Marwadi community all together, they all have dedicated, they have donated their land or money or things, and this Gurukul is established. Even today also, all three communities are connected with Gurukul. And as on today, the students, those who are passed out in that, as it is established in Telangana, so no doubt, from Telugu community, I think highest number of families have benefited with Gurukul studies. Yes. Jai Swaminarayan sir. Yeah, yeah, I know. Okay. Okay, thank you, sir. Yes. Okay, anybody else? Fine, so we finish here. So next, 2nd October, we have very grand celebration. 3 days we have Yagna. First 2 days means 30th and 1st October. 2 days hostel students will perform and offer Ahuti. And on 2nd October, either devotees, teachers, parents, all well wishers, those who have participated in Yagna along with their sons, they all will also offer Ahuti to the Agni Narayan and Bhagavan Swaminarayan. So as 25 years completed, so we have decided to offer 25 lakhs Ahuti to Yagna Narayan to please Yagna Narayan. And in this Gurukul land, my dear Gurukul family members, 5 times we had 108 Kundi Yagnas in this land. So that's what I'm saying. This is like completely a Tirtha Bhumi, and that's why all Gurukulites, especially alumni, right? Yeah, yearly 1 day or 2 days you have to plan to stay to your second home and have a recharge and refresh all your spiritual power. Okay. Jai Swaminarayan. Jai Swaminarayan.
Jai Swaminarayan.
Jai Swaminarayan. Jai Swaminarayan. Jai Swaminarayan. Jai Swaminarayan. Jai Swaminarayan. Jai Swaminarayan. Jai Swaminarayan. Jai Swaminarayan.